Anyway, welcome back to Project 15. Today is day 27. We're going to be reading from Romans 14, 13 to 23 about not passing judgment. So pause the video right now, hit the space bar, and come back when you've read the passage.
G'day teenagers. Well, have you ever noticed that the world can be quite judgmental, especially on social media and in the comment section? People can be quite judgmental. They can ridicule others. They can condemn others. When people make mistakes, they can jump on a bandwagon and be overly critical of people in this world. Well, as a follower of Christ, God doesn't want us to live like that. He doesn't want us to be judgmental people. He doesn't want us to be cyber bullies. He doesn't want us to be keyboard warriors who just criticize other people. And throughout the book of Romans, Paul will give some important Christian instructions about how we as followers of Christ are to live. And look at what he says in chapter 14. He says, so let us stop condemning each other. Let us stop condemning each other. His main point is we ought not to judge one another. We ought to ultimately leave judgment to God. It can be so tempting in this life, especially online and on social media, to judge others, to look at how other people are living and to judge them for what they're doing. God doesn't want us to be overly judgmental people. He doesn't want us to always be critical of what other people are doing. Now, that doesn't mean we can't use our judgment. We can use our judgment to see when people are doing the wrong thing so that we know not to copy other people. But God doesn't want us to be judgmental people who criticize people for what they do, who judge them online, who are always writing terrible things and being critical in the comment section. Paul instructs the Christians that living a life which pleases God is to not judge other people, but be respectful of other people. And if they're doing the wrong thing, we leave it to God. We live in a hypercritical world. I'm sure you can agree with that, teenagers. Well, in today's reading, the example Paul uses is the example of food or dietary restrictions. We live in a diverse world. There are some people who have diverse opinions on what is right and wrong. Should a person eat meat? Should a person be a vegan or a vegetarian? Well, those questions existed even in Jesus' day. People would ask, what foods are acceptable for us to eat? What foods are not acceptable for us to eat? Now, ultimately, as a follower of Christ, Paul comes to the conclusion that all food is permissible. Anything which is good for us is fine for us to have. And we shouldn't be judgmental of other people. And he encourages the church not to be overly judgmental of their brothers and sisters in Christ. If some people have dietary restrictions because of their culture or because of their beliefs, that's okay. As a follower of Christ, he says, we are free to eat whatever we want as long as it's good for us. And we shouldn't judge other people. And he challenges the church and he says to them, listen, but if somebody in your community has a strong feeling about something, if they have strong opinions on something, we should live at peace with them and not fight and not condemn them for that. So I want to encourage you teenagers with this point. Our world is very diverse. People have different things which are important to them. They have cultural things which are important to them. They have likes and dislikes, and we may not always agree with them. But we should never be judgmental of people. We should never look at somebody because they act a certain way and judge them. We should always respect the ways that God has made us different. So if you're a teenager who struggles and you're a bit over-judgmental, maybe you're always looking at how other people behave and how other people live, and you're always judging them. You're always saying that they need to live up to a better standard. Well, I want to encourage you teenagers, a follower of Christ doesn't judge other people. They leave judgment ultimately to God. Because God is the ultimate source of truth and He's the ultimate source of good and love. And as His followers, He commands us to extend the same love and the same peace toward others as we receive from God Himself. So I want to encourage you teenagers to spend some time thinking about that. And now let's go into that very, very important part of Project 15. Let's go into our 7 minutes of prayer, and we'll see you next episode.